That's what I'm talking about. I mean, what could go right? Welcome back to What's on Joe Mind. I'm your host, Partysaurus Rex, and with me, the queen of G.I. Joe cosplay, Miss Joe Colton, everyone.
Everybody,
And
good evening, happy Friday.
And conspicuous by his absence is Mike Irizarry, who has teamed up with both Irizarry brothers to go after the six-man tag team championship and move out of his current domicile. So they're closing down Castle Irizarry, moving to a bigger, better castle. So that means while the boss is away, the employees will play. So it's me and Joe hold it down the fort. And Mike picked, I don't know if it's a good week or a bad week not to be here, because there's a ton of news this week.
Indeed, sir.
I mean, I don't know if we're ready for this amount of news. We do appreciate everybody for joining us this week as we get ready for the Snake Eyes movie coming out next week. But there's plenty to talk about, and as you can tell, we're both in varied locations this week. So we kind of figured we'd just get to the news, get through it before we get kicked out of wherever we both are. Seem square?
Seems square.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. So hang on here. We know there's going to be technical problems. We're just not sure when they're going to crop up. So let's start by being daring and trying to share my screen here.
Okay. Am I going to do the sound like usual?
Yeah, I think because it's time for the news. So let me just check here. I'm on an Apple, which is not my natural habitat, but we're looking pretty good. So, all right, I worked pretty hard on this PowerPoint. PowerPointing is a thing I do. So Joe and Honcho present Party at Mike's House, and we're going to kick things off with stuff we saw just yesterday from our friends, and I do mean friends at Super 7. Looking at these are their Ultimates figures that they just revealed yesterday. These retail for $55. And you know how much they cost because you can order them right now at super7.com. You can also get them at Big Bad Toy Store and I think a couple other places. There we go. So, you know, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming on September 15th. I actually know the guy that was working on these. He was just working on them kind of under the radar. A friend of mine from McFarlane Toys, great toy designer. And so yesterday we get their Series 1 drop. And usually Mike pitches it up and then either Joe or I go first. But since I'm delivering the meal,
you're running the show.
Well, I'm just saying that means Joe gets first say. So, Joe, what was your reaction to these Ultimates figures revealed yesterday?
So I'm really excited. I like classic Cobra Commander. I thought Duke looked kind of Aquaman-y, but I love the amount that all the figures come with like different heads, and some come with different heads. The accessories are I love, and I also love Snake Eyes and Timber.
I mean, I think you have to include quite a bit of other stuff considering the price point, right? And these are 7-inch scale, so they're a little bigger than your classified figures. They're kind of what McFarlane is doing with their DC figures right now. But yeah, all the stuff kind of helps justify that $55 price tag, I think.
I am surprised that the back comes with so much stuff. I expect like that. I thought like the backpack, maybe another head, maybe a gun or something, but not all.
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought on the bat that there are some things he has to come with, right? Has to come with the backpack, has to come with the 3 attachments. But you know, and maybe the gun, but the gun could actually be in the holster, right? But to have it be removable with another weapon and the head and the severed arm is just a throw-in, right? And it's just, there's a lot of cool things going on here. The one thing the bat doesn't come with, and maybe you got to look at it close to see this, no brutal chest cut on the bat.
Nope.
He's,
Nope.
nope, just the waist pivot right there. So I mentioned to, I know a couple people at Super 7 because they're fond of ex-McFarlane employees. And I mentioned to him that bat is going to be your absolute runaway winner. Like, not that the other ones aren't good. And I understand that they're working on a animation, but maybe comic book license wrapped in there as well. We'll get to that when we look at their reaction figures next. But the fact that Hasbro hasn't made a bat yet, bat prices have gone through the roof on eBay over the last year, and it's right, and it's 7 inches. These guys actually scale with the classified figures. So somebody who goes, well, I'm only classified, I'm not going to collect that Super 7 stuff. The bat is the figure that might give them pause because it's the right size to go with their guys. It's not so cartoony that it wouldn't fit next to them. And it's a pre-order. You can order as many of these as you want. Like they're the first people to actually embrace the potential of army building and tell the New York lawyer who loves G.I. Joe out there, hey man, you make 7 figures a year. And if you want to order 100 bats at $55 each, we'd be happy to take your money.
Yep. I also like that they're 7 inches, so they're a little taller than what you're used to with the 6. So look a little bit more.
You're cracking in and out just a little bit, Joe, but I agree with you on the 7 inches. I think it's nice to have that difference of scale. And aesthetically, it's a little different. It's a little more cartoony, and they're cartoon based, almost all of them. So, but I love the attention to detail. I love that Duke is coming with his classic Sunbow snow job rifle that everybody had, but he's also coming with his green Stalker machine gun that the figure came with. I like that he's got the pilot head. They really, really took a good look into this. If they didn't know Joe, they did a ton of research, and I think it really shows. And I think you have to get it right at this price point, right? It can't be half-assed at $55. So that's our look at the Ultimates. We'll move along here. Let me get back to my PowerPoint and take a look here at their reaction figures. So reaction are $17.99. They are 5 points of articulation, and this is the one that caught me a little bit because these are by and large kind of based on the cartoon, but I think Quinn has to be comic based. Am I right on that? I don't remember Quinn in the Sunbow animation at all. And maybe, you know what, the Peanut Gallery will clear me up on that. Was Quinn ever in the Sunbow cartoon? I don't think so. You're muted right now, Joe, so I can't hear you. There you go. And I still can't hear you. For whatever reason, Joe, your audio is not coming through right now. So, but chime in and we'll catch it up. What we're seeing here is a Sunbow Snake Eyes, Sunbow Scarlet, the Quinn, the Cobra Commander, the Destro, the Blue Baroness, which I think is the win of the reaction figures, and then the G.I. Joe green shirts, which is, I think it's cool. And we told you this a couple of months ago that they were going to have skin variations. And so they're calling them pink, tan, and brown. And so I like that a lot. And it's a very smart way to maximize that mold. So, Joe, you drop that mute and let's see if I'm hearing you yet. I can't hear you at all. I can't hear you at all. And don't take this the wrong way, but I would take audio over video, right? Because right now all I get are thumbs up or thumbs downs, right? So we'll call the IT department. His name's Wes. So moving on, let me get back to the swap here. So next up, and these are big wins for our army builders out there, and there's lots of army builders out there. Look at that! Holy smokes. It's Captain Kirk sighting right here. So you have your Cobra Troopers here, and again, they're doing these on the 3 different skin tones that they're calling pink, tan, and brown. I think it's great that we're getting some ethnic diversity in the Cobra Troopers. When I made Tombstone for the G.I. Joe line, that was an intentional build for me. Was I really wanted to get an African American on the Cobra side, and especially up the hierarchy. I thought that had been a real miss over the years, so that was something I wanted to do, and you can tell that Super 7 sees the value in some of that diversity too, even with the kind of rank and file troops. Looks like Joe Colton has gone mobile and is wandering the streets of the East Coast somewhere. West in tow, no doubt. Can't hear you right now, Joe, and the video's not updating either. So check back in when you can. But the Super 7 reaction figures are available for pre-order. These are going to be available first. They're supposedly going to be out in September, where we're looking at Q2 2022 for the Ultimates figures. So we got some video. Drop the mute, Joe. Let's see if I can hear you. And that's a no. So my fiendish plan has finally taken full effect as I've completely taken over. The coup is complete. Welcome to the all-new What's on Joe Mind. One of the differences here on the Cobra figures that they called special attention to is the way that their web gear appears across the back versus an H-style strap or a Y-style strap. Oh, wait a minute. I might be getting a co-host here. Let's see how this works. Look at that. Hello, Joe.
I am back.
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm glad you're not driving.
No.
So let me back it up. We'll get back to what I was showing before. I think I can do that. Yeah, here you go. So we're looking at the reaction figures here. 5 points of articulation, based mainly on the cartoon. But I think Quinn is the wild card here. I don't remember Quinn in the Sunbow cartoon.
I feel like he was. I feel like I remember him in one episode.
I have to,
I have to check.
This is
but
where
I'm really excited about that figure. Like that figure especially, I want.
Yeah, it's a great pick, and I think the folks following us and chatting along can help us out here because the hive mind is always more powerful. Was Quinn in the cartoon? Because it's really important. Because if he wasn't, that means their license also includes the comic books, which opens up a whole new cupboard of potential characters. So the Quinn is interesting, certainly. The others are, kind of about what you would have expected in the top tier folks. But I think the Baroness has some special pull here, right?
Yeah.
Because we haven't. That Blue Baroness hasn't been available, I don't think, ever. So it's a great pull.
There was one. I have a Blue Baroness action figure, just one, but I don't think she's been available in like forever.
Yeah, and it's for me personally, when I was looking at these, I'm in on the Ultimates, right? Especially the Bat. But when I looked at these, I'm like, you know what? It'll be case by case. I'll have to cherry pick this, but I am in on that. I'm in on that Baroness because even with 5 points of articulation, I can hide her in a Rattler cockpit, or I can put her somewhere where, the 5 POA-ness of her is not going to be a problem. And the face sculpt's really good. And I love the glasses. Like that's the only thing that the glasses usually hold every Baroness figure back a little bit.
Yeah, but some of them are even the face sculpt. Sometimes they're kind of like off. You're like, why does she look crazy?
Right, like of them all, the Baroness is the one that kind of leans into the attractiveness of the character. So you really gotta get that right.
You're in for the Baroness.
I'm only in on the Baroness for the reaction.
Okay, so I'm in on the Quinn and the Baroness, and that's it.
And I think that's going to be kind of how it goes across the fan base, right? Like some of your big stars, your Snake Eyes, your Scarlets will spike a bit, but they're all big stars outside of Quinn. And I just think the Baroness is so smart because this will sell, and then classic black leather Baroness will sell as well.
Always.
So yeah.
Always.
And green shirts are cool if that's your thing. I think they're a little, and if we hold on, let me get to the next slide is where I've got all the Cobra guys. And there's 6 of them because you have your ethnic diversity, which is great. And then but they're also making them depending on how there's a different back sculpt for each style of them. So it's either an H back or a Y back for the back of their web gear. Which is it's kind of kitschy. I don't know that it's valuable or important on any level, but it shows they're paying attention, right?
It's a cool little thing, but I don't know if it would, like you said, like make a big difference. So
now, speaking to the crew over here, let's see if I can do this too. I understand that there have been blue Baroness figures, right? But has anyone ever really were any of those 4 like the original Baroness with the yellow belt and the yellow neck?
I remember one being the yellow belt,
one?
the yellow collar, and the black glasses.
Okay. I don't remember that, but I don't remember everything. So it's down in the basement in a plexi tote somewhere, so I'll have to dig that out. So, but overall, I mean, for what they did, even though some of the names leaked out, none of the images did. It really feels like Super 7 did a great job with these. I'm very impressed. There you go. Are you there, Joe? Joe's freezing up a little bit. But I just thought they did a great job, and they treated the brand with the reverence it deserves. This is a big deal for them, and it's a big deal that Hasbro's letting somebody else make G.I. Joe figures. Like that's a stunner. So props to our friends at Super 7. Joe, I was just saying, I think they kind of covered all their bases here.
Yeah,
this is pretty impressive.
I could hear you. I just couldn't see you.
Oh well. Some people prefer me that way.
No.
But what do you think? I mean, I think this really, other than some of the names leaking ahead of time, I don't think this could have gone better, and the community has responded to it pretty positively.
Very good. I agree. It was a very good, except for the few that leaked out. But it didn't really make a difference. Like I still love to see that the whole thing is a success, and I think it ran as smooth as it could.
Yeah, it's good for them, and like I said, I know a couple people there. The designer and the brand manager working on the Ultimates part of it. They're guys I knew at McFarlane, and they are great guys, good guys, and really, really talented folks in the toy industry. So it's in very good hands. So we will look forward to whatever's coming next from Super 7. Not that we need something right away because they've given us a lot to chew on, but
at least that we have a line that is producing new product, and we've got new stuff coming out, and there's a ton of news today. So
yeah, absolutely. So moving on from Super 7, so from Hasbro, actually, this is something that I don't know. It wasn't a leak, but when we first saw this Zartan figure a couple weeks ago, I was one of the people. I think I brought up the point, but I think you both agreed that if you were going to do a color change, this is the place to do it. And lo and behold,
yes,
here it is. So kudos. I'm glad they listened to me and made that change.
It's all you, Honcho. All you.
You're welcome out there, Joe community. But obviously, this was part of the plan, and this one leaked out, so they didn't get to do the unveil like they wanted to. But the color change is so cool, and I understand why maybe you can't do it at a retail release, but that's why for an exclusive, it's a perfect place to do it, and it just makes this one that much cooler. And another reason to get this if you already have the other Zartan.
Now, do we know who did the art for the box? Do we know?
They said who it was, but I didn't write it down.
Okay.
So it is out there, and the art's pretty spectacular. And I love the spinning wheel to change up the head. Like, yeah, this is very well done. This is what an event exclusive should be. where it's different enough that it's awesome, but it's not so different that if you couldn't get it, it would break your collection, right? It's not the only Zartan out there. So
No, but I'm gonna try to get it. Just
yeah, absolutely. And I think they've said it changes color in cold temperature or under warm water.
Oh.
So it's a bit of a flip from the original Zartan, which was just heat activated, as I recall. I don't remember if it was cold activated, but anyway, for the idea that if you take Zartan out in the cold, he turns blue, it's kind of cool.
So what you're saying is I have to take him up to Canada and then put him in lukewarm water, and so he'll like come back to normal.
Yeah, basically, you're going to have to talk to your folks up there in the Canadian government, have them open that border up, and tell them, you know, you're coming home because you're low on potato chips. Which I think low is a generous term, yes? Like, aren't you like a month past empty on Canadian potato chips?
Yeah, I finished all 6 bags. Yeah,
I figured.
God.
I figured. Well, then it just proves your dad right for opening the bags and getting the air out.
Yep. And for arguing with my mom in the supermarket. She only asked for 1. We're getting her 2, and he's like, no.
I really wish they'd put that on TikTok. That would have been big. So you know, everybody loves the Zartan. It's exactly what you should be doing for an event exclusive. So kudos to Hasbro and their exclusives team and the classified team for putting together a really, really sharp offering here. Moving on.
I do have a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
You move on.
I'll move
what
back.
Are we thinking the price? Yes, thank you. What are we thinking the price point is going to be?
I mean, they've kind of established that $40 price point for the Snake Eyes and the Wolf, and so that's what Baroness was.
Okay.
You know, he comes with more stuff, but it's not like he comes with I mean, they could have done the Chameleon, right? He could have had the Steer with him if they really wanted to bump it up, but I'm just going to guess that it's not that much more expensive than a regular figure. So I'm betting they'll hit right around 40, maybe 45 for it.
Okay.
Somewhere
That's what
around
I was
there.
Thinking.
It won't be brutal. But it will, you know, it will be a bump. So, you know, be ready for that. You know, I don't want to see the people when it comes out at $42.99 to be like, oh my God, I can't even believe it. Regular figure's only $22. That's what exclusives are, right? And they sell out. If there was an actual San Diego Comic-Con, this would sell out at San Diego Comic-Con. So expect Comic-Con pricing, even though it's going to be PulseCon. And I think just be grateful that you're going to be able to order it from your living room, right? We hope.
Yeah. Yes, and not trying to get into Target to get it.
Right. Or your typical San Diego stuff where you're like, hey, Joe, I know you're going to Comic-Con. Can you bring me back? Could you give me back 1 each of these 9 things? Because I'm your only friend asking. Like, yeah, we've all been there. So that's a PulseCon exclusive. Next up, we want to give a shout out to some friends of the program. So we've talked about this before. This is Strike Force Alpha, and the toy group is called Scorched Earth Initiative. This is Jason Schiermeyer and Matt LaCroix. This is on Kickstarter, and they put out this photo this week. This is their main villain, right? Dr. Diablo.
I like him.
And I think it's Jason and Matt have done the sculpting on this line, but they reached out to Bill Merklin to do this guy. So absolute G.I. Joe royalty. And this is the guy that Carson's working with on his Rotello project. So he put together their main villain, Dr. Diablo, who's pretty cool.
Love the sculpt on that.
Love
the sculpt on him, man. Woo.
Yeah, he looks cool. He's got the Reed Richards temples, which is kind of cool. It shows he's been doing evil for a long time. So, you know, I got to dig it. And then the cool thing about this, they are 75% funded with 22 days left. So they got 3 weeks. And if you're familiar with how Kickstarters usually go, there's usually a little rush from the fence sitters at the end if it's close. So again, and I mentioned to them, it looks like you're in good shape. And they said, well, we're not counting any chickens, right? So head over to Kickstarter.com, throw in Strike Force Alpha. I tried to put the whole web link here, but it's way too long. So just go there, hit search, type Strike Force Alpha. You'll see all the cool stuff they have going on. And these are, if you can't tell by the photos, these are O-ring figures. And we dig the O-ring figures. So
Me too.
Yeah, right. So check out our friends over there at Strike Force Alpha. They're getting close, but they could use a little more support. So check them out. I think they'll dig it. I do want to give bring this up here. The Pulse has the Zartan listed at $36.99. So
Oh,
not bad
wow,
at all, right?
Not bad.
So there's no reason you can't be in if it's the kind of thing you like. So good for them. Good figure, good price. Thumbs up from what's on Joe Mind. So moving on, this is from our friends over at His Tank, and there ain't nothing better than a bracket style tournament. So
you sports people,
right? So they're doing the GI Joe classified series. I think they're calling it Wanted Dead or Alive. Hold on, I might actually have a pop up here. Oh, hang on, I'm getting too excited. So Wanted Dead or Alive, Dreadnoks Most Wanted. So I figured this would be a pretty simple exercise for you and me, Joe. So follow along here, right? We're going to look at each matchup.
okay?
You and I are each going to pick our winner, the one we more want as a classified figure. If
Okay.
we agree, they move on.
All
If
right.
we disagree, they're both eliminated. Like time limit draw, and they're both out.
What?
Ready?
No.
Ready? I know, right?
Okay.
We went over this beforehand. No, we didn't. Not at all. So I'm going to let you pick first, and then I'll be honest about my response, because if we do the 1, 2, 3 countdown, it's not going to work. So here you go.
You gotta name the picks though, because I can't see.
Yeah. Thrasher versus Road Pig.
Oh, Road Pig.
All right, I'm with you. Road Pig moves on. Punk Zartan, the Ninja Force Zartan, versus Storm Rider.
Zartan.
You know what? I'm taking Storm Rider because we got 2 Zartans already.
I mean,
Out he goes.
okay.
That puts Road Pig in the semifinals. Pretty awesome. All right, next one. Xandar versus the Dreadnought Bat. I know.
The Bat.
I know. Yeah. So you're taking the Bat? Come on.
No, I want Xander.
All right. Xandar moves on to the redhead. And then in the bottom, Zorana versus Naugahyde.
Zorana.
Yeah, that's an easy win. So this is where brackets get awesome. Road Pig moves on because of Zartan and Storm Rider's double disqualification. But in the bottom of the bracket, Xandar versus Zorana.
Zorana.
Yeah, she's cooler. So then you got, look at this lover's quarrel. Zorana versus Road Pig.
Oh. He's really sweet on her.
Right? He'd hit her with a mallet, though, to get a figure.
He would. The Road Pig.
You know what?
I think she's more deceiving.
Yeah. It's not a fight. It's about who do you most want to see as a figure.
Well, we've had the figure subscription service, right? And we've had the special one from San Diego, right? So we haven't had a Road Pig.
Yeah. We haven't had either at this scale, though.
That's true. Oh, this is tough.
Dan, here, let me give you I'm going to lobby for a second.
Okay.
I'm kind of hoping that Hasbro avoids the larger type figures, because if Super 7 can do them at 7-inch scale, they'll work right with your collection.
Yeah, so he'll be the same size as, say, like a bat.
Right.
Okay. So, I'm with you.
All right.
You've lobbied successfully.
So we'll say Zorana then.
Okay.
All right, Zorana to the finals. Now over on the other side, Death Metal versus Zanzibar.
Death Metal.
See, I'm going with a pirate. Zanzibar's a pirate, man. All right, that cleans that up. Here's a tough one. Buzzer versus Monkey Wrench.
Monkey Wrench.
Yeah, I'm with you. Monkey Wrench moves on right to the semis because of the other double DQ. Zanya versus Heart Wrencher. Right.
Oh, come on. That's awful.
Just saying. It might be a sexist matchup too, right? Oh, we'll just put the girls together.
Yeah. Wrencher.
I'll go with that. All right, so we'll move her on. And then last is a tough one. Talk about OG. Ripper versus Torch. It's tough.
Oh,
Oh, no. Oh, she's back.
I'm gonna go with Torch.
Yeah,
Why?
Torch was
Yeah,
always my
I'm gonna
favorite
go with
Dreadnought, so
Torch.
I'm with you. So that gives us what, Monkey Wrench to the semis, Heart Wrencher versus Torch.
Okay.
Heart Wrencher
Yeah.
versus Torch.
Oh, that's
Right?
Heart Wrencher.
Nah, I gotta go Torch. Torch is my guy. So that eliminates them both. And
Okay.
Monkey Wrench to the finals. There's your final for the Dreadnought Heavyweight Championship of the World. Zorana versus Monkey Wrench.
No, yes. Oh my God. Zorana.
Yeah, I'll go with that. All right, fine. So in the official What's on Joe Mind voting, Sans the boss, Monkey Wrench. If you want to make your voice heard, head over to his tank and vote in this kind of cool thing they're doing. And remember that we are Team Zorana.
There's some tough ones.
Yeah, right? Like they put it together pretty good. Ripper Torch. Ouch. That one hurts. So anyway, kudos to them. I think that's a cool thing they're doing. And it'll be interesting to see what the fans think. So moving on, I don't
It's
know.
not as cool as a crossword puzzle, but it's pretty
No.
cool.
No, but they probably didn't have to pitch it 3 times to get it approved, right? So Icon Heroes is doing more of their pins. This is a San Diego pin set. I think it's really cool if you're into pins, right? That they're basing it off the card art, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. My only complaint here at all is that Firefly's got a blue gun, right? How are you going to make a pin with an accessory pack looking gun? That's a problem. But other than that, cool. If this is your thing, cool.
Yeah. It's neat.
Yeah. Is Wes going to be riveting these into his Witcher gear? No, that's not happening. It's not happening. These aren't going to the Colton household. I don't think.
No.
Not to the Weber household either. But anyway, if it's your thing, cool. They're not hurting anybody. Wish they made that gun green though. Moving on. We don't know anything about this guy other than they dropped him this week. This image.
Yeah.
Funko's got a bat coming because I guess every other company in the world knows how much value there is in bat stuff. So I'm not
expensive.
I'm not a Funko guy, but there are lots of people that are. And as far as Funkos go, this guy's pretty awesome.
He's really neat. I've never seen a Funko like this, so he's tempting. And I don't even collect Funko Pops. But
Yeah,
he's tempting. I have
I'm
a few, but he's tempting.
I'm digging the claw and the kind of funky hologram chest. Like they did their work here. They could have been lazy on it and they weren't. So good for them. Good for the Funko collectors. None of which are represented on this broadcast. So that's Funko. Good for them. Now this is big, right?
Yes.
So
Oh my God.
we don't break news all that often, right? Because we're kind of the weekly wrap-up show. Here's the week that was, and here's what we think about it. So,
Right.
as the longest-running GI Joe podcast in the world, we're in no rush. So, but once in a while, we have sources. We know people. We know things. So I was really careful when we pubbed this up today to say, hey, we're going to announce the next Walmart Retro exclusives right here, exclusively on What's on Joe Mind, because Walmart themselves put out the shadow of Stalker this week and said, guess who's coming to the retro line? When that figure's been in stores for 3 weeks. So there's some kind of disconnect. So it's very clear to say, we're going to reveal the upcoming retro exclusives, not Stalker and the Cobra Trooper. Right?
I mean, we can, but there's no point.
I mean, I don't even know if that merits a spoiler alert, right? Like, if you don't know, you just ain't been paying attention. So, but this is different. And from what we know, no set date on this, but coming soon. And we're happy to announce we'll wait for this to explode and go viral. But coming soon to your Walmart stores as retro exclusives, we've got Grunt, kind of your quintessential original Joe from 1982, and a guy who only had one modern era figure, and he was kind of crappy. Like he came in that infantry 3-pack at Toys R Us, and they gave him stubble, which was like just painted on. It just looked like paint flecks. Well, it was bad stubble. And Grunt has always been clean shaven. So why you'd add something that looks bad is just either design or brand management gone astray well before my time. But I think Grunt's great. Like I'm totally down for a Grunt. Can't wait to add him to my collection. So I guess with the Grunt news out there, and I'm sure the fans are rejoicing at this moment, that's not all. But wait, there's more. Where there's a Cobra Trooper, you probably got to follow with that Cobra Officer. So I hope they make enough of these, because the troop builders are out and they're out in force. But it's nice to see if you make. I was always a big fan of that. During my time at Hasbro, if you make one of a set, make sure you follow up. And so to come right back with an officer on the heels of the trooper is really good work. So we don't know exactly what style he'll be, if he'll use the new buck that they made with the Fang pilot, or where this exactly is coming from. But excited about the news at least, right? So,
are you going to try and get one?
I'll probably get an officer, and I'd like to get 3 troopers if I can. I don't have any troopers yet. But that's my fault, because I am allowed to shop at Walmart. So we'll get out there. I did get a stalker thanks to my friend Aker up in New Hampshire. So appreciate that. We'll be on lookout for Grunt, some troopers, and that. But that's not all. Now, don't get too excited here, okay? Because I've shown you 2 good things. Let's be happy with that, because I got no more info other than the name here, and it's not nearly as exciting. Welcome to HISS 3.0. So this is all we know, is it's listed as HISS 3, and this was the HISS 3, which was basically the HISS 1 in blue with a really unfortunately named driver. So if you're dying for Rip It, the Cobra Golfer, okay. I'm sure it'll be he was a repainted HISS tank driver. So I'm sure this will be a repainted new HISS tank driver, which was a great fig. One of the best in the retro line, I think. But I hope the tooling pool isn't this shallow that they're already redoing, because I give them credit for the HISS they put out in the first retro wave, because they were not hard to find, and they were a screaming deal at $25. But at that price, with that availability, I think we kind of all got the HISS tanks we needed in December, right?
So I'm wondering if this is, now it could be just my screen, but it looks kind of purple to me. I hope it's not purple.
It was a good Cobra blue, as I recall. So and that may just be the screen or the artwork. But the tank itself is fine. I could see people wanting to pick up a blue one to go with it, but I don't think you'll get the sales that you got on the black HISS. Even if people like blue better, they already bought a bunch of black HISSes in December. So
and probably painted some of them blue.
Yeah, it could be, right? So I hope this one doesn't sit, because that's the worry, is if something sits, does Walmart go, I guess it's not that hot anymore, when actually it was maybe a design or brand management choice that maybe could have been better. And I say maybe because we don't know what tooling is available now. There wasn't a whole lot 4 years ago when I was privy to it, and there certainly isn't more now. There might be less. So I hope that I hope that this was just a subpar choice, and that they have other things they can choose from to make the fans happy. But there you go. Coming soon, your Walmart retro exclusives. Looking at Grunt, Cobra Officer, and that HISS 3 again coming soon. whatever that means. So if you want to share that out there, spread the word, let the fans know it's a trusted source. And we generally don't bring it to you unless we're standing by it. So tell them what's on Joe Mind told you. That way we get the credit.
And it's been verified.
Right. That way
Not
we get
rumor.
we get the credit for it, or God forbid we get the blame. So but we're standing by it. So here you go. Enjoy your Retro Joes coming to Walmart very soon. All right, here's something. There are a pretty good image dump this week from movie stills from the Snake Eyes movie. And I didn't go through them very much. And there's some new character bio type 30-second video packages they've put together. And I haven't watched any of those either. I'm done looking ahead. Yeah. Like I've seen, even though it was just a teaser and the one true trailer, I'm good. Right. There's nothing I need to see now 1 week from launch. Assuming the movie comes out on time.
I differed. I just wanted to see a couple, mostly the Baroness, her 30-second like blip that she does in
Right.
that like those snippets, and so I'm like, okay, we're good. Okay.
Yeah. I'm good at this point. I'm good. I put this up just because I had one, and this is as nitpicky as you can get. But damn, if you look at the visor or below the visor on Storm Shadow's helmet here,
Yes.
it's got little dashes for him to breathe through. How did you not make those the Arashikage symbol?
Yes. So
Right?
I thought I was crazy for thinking that they should have done that.
I looked at it to see if they got it wrong, and it's not just
No.
barely off. So it isn't like they went straight line, 2 dots, straight line, 2. It's just it just isn't the logo. And like, how could you not do that? But that got me. But then this got me too. And it was something I hadn't pointed out or hadn't pinpointed myself on Akiko before. Is
Yes.
dig her outfit being half black and half white, right?
Yes. I saw that on the figure. I noticed that before.
Like it's pretty clear she's going to be the tug of war, right? The problem between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, and I don't know that it'll be a romantic thing. I really hope it isn't, because I don't. It's okay if it fits, but you don't have to have romance in a Joe movie or an action movie, and frequently,
And there doesn't have to be a love triangle always.
right. And Joe is one of the better or the earlier franchises, franchises for female empowerment, right? But almost all the females are on some level not defined by, but they all have a significant other, right? They're all a part of a couple, and they don't really have. It's okay if they are, and it accentuates the character plenty for all of them, I think. But they don't have to be, right? There's a lot of single Joe guys, right? Ain't nothing wrong with them. So if the Akiko conflict is more about how she should be trained, right? Or something else. I hope it's something else, especially with Scarlet in the movie, right?
Yes.
If they're planning Scarlet and Snake Eyes to be a thing down the road, sorry, Diana, then maybe you don't need him romantically attached to Akiko early on. Or maybe it would be her death that makes him heartbroken, and Scarlet can help him with that down the road. I don't know.
So I want to throw this out here.
Yeah.
What if she doesn't die? And what if there's a twist, like she becomes a new character in the line, and she's with the Hard Master or Blind Master, and she's with the clan, and she doesn't become a Joe or join Storm Shadow with Cobra. She just leaves them both and continues on.
It's possible,
Like, that would
and
be a nice twist.
that's actually better writing than we're probably going to get. But you got to believe, right? This is pure speculation because we don't know any more than other fans do. But obviously, you got to imagine there's a Snake Eyes Storm Shadow main event fight for the third act, right?
Yeah.
You can't make this movie without those two fighting for whatever reason they give them. And originally, I think we heard about the Akiko character before we were guaranteed the involvement of the Hardmaster as a character.
Yes.
So they could do it either way. It can be the death of the Hardmaster, like it has been historically, that splinters the frayed relationship between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, or maybe Akiko's tied into it, or who knows? Could be either, could be both. I mean, could be neither, but I think that's probably a long shot, right? Vegas isn't given very good odds on Hardmaster and Akiko surviving this film.
Ooh,
Can you
never
imagine?
know, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? And I'm not trying to sell it short because I think I've said hopeful, if not optimistic. So
Yes. I feel like if they did survive, then it would be good for the next one for it to start with a death
right.
and then move on from that.
I think there has to be some kind of tragedy to fuel the breakup, right? We just aren't sure which one it is, but we got two real good candidates. So we'll see. The other thing that stuck out to me here, the Hasbro classified figure for Storm Shadow is like 98% that bone color. But
Yeah.
and then maybe this is a motorcycle outfit, so I'm reading too much into it. But I see that bone color in sort of the outer armor on Storm Shadow here. But the other colors is almost eggshell, right? It's not nearly as dark as we're seeing. And again,
his gauntlets are the same bone color. It's just the light, but I agree. The rest is that eggshell.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And the light's right on the helmet, so it looks pretty white, but we'll see. Anyway, it looks pretty good. So we're excited about this, and I'm avoiding anything else until the movie. Can't wait. And I think we talked a little bit with Mike about this week. Our show next week will be normally it's on Fridays, might be on Thursday. Or if we go on Friday, I don't think we're going to dive right into the what did you think about the movie discussion, because not everybody is going to be able to see it right away, right? And we don't want to cleave our audience in half by people who don't want us ruining the movie for them. So
yes.
we'll see where it goes next week. But I can pretty much guarantee it won't be us on Friday yapping about the movie, because it doesn't do anybody any good. We'll yap about it the following week. How's that? So
we can do a special just on yapping about it.
Right. We could totally do that too. But I'm always of the sense, the spoiler sense on Facebook, just for tact on social media. You got to give them through the weekend. Everybody works. Hardly anybody watches anything live anymore. So people are used to watching it as it fits in their schedule. The last thing they need is me showing up on Thursday at 2 a.m. going, wonder where they're going to bury Akiko, right? Like, nobody needs that. So again, pure conjecture, but I mean, come on. So anyway, I think you'll have a spoiler-free week from your friends here at What's on Joe Mind next week, because we're all excited for the movie.
Yes.
Let's see what else. We're getting down to it. But oh, look, I have it in there twice. I was so excited about it. All right, now we want to give credit here, because this is what I've put here is really a direct rip from histank.com. But it is, no offense to Super 7, it's the biggest news of the week. So Histank was down at the Licensing Con Brazil event, and the head of licensing for Hasbro Brazil announced that Hasbro will debut a new animated series based on G.I. Joe. The series set to release in 2022, and we don't know when, but sometime in 2022, with season 2 already planning a second season for 2023. And they had what sounds like a 2-second video clip of Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes fighting as teammates against some ruffians atop a building. You can find out more over at Histank. We don't want to steal all their thunder. But they did say Snake Eyes looked like a black Power Ranger with Batman gauntlets. And Storm Shadow looked a lot like the Marvel character Crossbones. So different looks, more updated. Again, if you don't judge it yet, we know very little about it. And if it is a futuristic or modernized look, good, right? Because this should get kids. God forbid they make the animated series focused on youth. So I'm so excited about this because it's exactly what you need. And without it, it would have shown Hasbro not truly believing in this brand. So I'm super excited. My nitpick would be, it says 2022. There's 12 whole months in 2022. And this movie was pushed out like crazy. So why you wouldn't have animation ready to draft off the movie? I know Paramount moved it up a couple months, but this is, again, if it was supposed to come out in January, coming off an October movie release date, okay, now we're a little more in sync. But that they didn't have more to show, and that the date is soft enough to just be 2022 sometime, makes you wonder if they were actually planning for this to come right out of the movie, which is the way to do it if you're fully vested in either launching or relaunching a property.
I'm excited. I think that no matter, like, as long as we keep having product and it's good, like it should be good product, the brand will stay alive and we'll have new blood and younger people interested in things, and it won't die off. Like,
absolutely. Hang on, let me looks like my power cord got knocked loose. That'd be bad. Now we're back. Good. I totally agree. And for where the brand is now, it's exactly what you want, or where it will be soon, right? That you have
it's a good launching pad.
Yeah, what we believe is kid-focused animation, a movie, a big ticket movie with an A-list actor. All of that is good. We've got Classified. We've got other companies being allowed to make stuff. Really is a good time to be a G.I. Joe fan, and it took us a while to get here. So we're pretty excited about that. Good for them. And kudos to His Tank. Again, this is a straight rip from them. So check them out and figure out what all's going on with this new animation. And that is the end of the slideshow. Look at that. Very few technical difficulties. But my computer is running low. Again, I'm on the road, and Joe is on the road as well, literally.
I just got home too.
Look at that. The timing's great. So given that we were both on the road and on shaky ground technically, we both agreed that this was going to be a run through a lot of news and then kind of a quick exit. So we appreciate Mike letting us guard the shop. We hope we did him proud. And, do we have any shout outs before we go? Oh, wait a minute. Totally forgotten. They even reminded me. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can find us on Facebook. If you watch us on Facebook, you can find us on YouTube. We also have a Ko-fi page. If you feel like supporting the show more so than just tuning in, you can always support us just by liking and subscribing. That helps too. And we definitely want to mention our sponsor, Kokomo Toys, where you can find all your favorite Joe stuff and sing the theme song, Kokomo Toys. Kokomo
Toys.
There we go. Joe, do you have any quick shout outs before we hit the road?
My husband for driving.
Yeah, boy, Wes.
I can't hear him.
He can't hear you. He says, yeah, boy.
Get that man some White Castle.
I'm not giving him White Castle. He's had a hard 2 weeks. But my mom and dad for being awesome. And the borders might open in mid-August, so I will get to see them. Fingers crossed. And I want to say thank you to all the fans and our fourth man in the peanut gallery who's always moderating. And to you, you did a fantastic job tonight, Honcho.
I can't believe we got through it, right? Without any sort of actual fall apart trouble. Now I'm just trying to see if I can get to the outro clip. Oh, if I hit this right, then I did everything right. So,
Mike, are you shouting out?
For the yeah, you know what? I'm gonna shout out to Mrs. Weber who put together our vacation up here in the hills of Vermont. So with that, I'm Mark. She's Joe. I'm Partosaurus Rex tonight. Thanks to Mike for letting us guard the shop, and we will see you next week for a spoiler-free edition.